Howdy folks, Zapper here, aka Sean, and I'm bringing you another turn of Next War India-Pakistan. Now I believe I'm on turn 6. It's been a while since I've played. I'm looking at my uploaded videos, so I have 2 turn 1s. I have a turn 2, a turn 3, and a turn 5. I also did play one turn that I did not film, where a friend of mine came over and we played. That did not get recorded, so I do believe, so that would account for 4 turns, or 5 turns, so I believe I'm on turn 6. It's not super important exactly what turn I'm on, just as long as I, complete turns, and I have done all complete turns. So again, turn 6. So at the end of the last turn, to the best of my recollection, and I don't know if I did this on camera or not. I haven't gone back and watched the video. However, we did have to roll for automatic victory, because if the differential between the two sides, and it's in the scenario rules what the VP differential is. So if one side has above that number in the differential, then you have to roll for automatic victory. So the VP differential for this scenario is 35. India has 45 victory points, and Pakistan has 10 victory points. So 45 minus 10 is 35. So it meets that threshold. So as long as one side has a differential of 35, then you continue to roll at the end of every turn, you roll on the automatic victory. It's a long way of me saying, hey, we rolled for that, and the more times you roll, the easier it is to get it, right? So I think I had to roll a 0. And I did not roll. So the next time I roll, I think it'll go to a 1 or something. I'd have to look at, there's a little chart in the rules for it. But anyway, so India did not get an automatic victory. So we continue to play. So I don't remember if I rolled for weather or not. So we'll just go ahead and do that now. It's not important if I rolled for it before and now all of a sudden I'm re-rolling for it again. So we are clear. It is, I want to say I determined it was the dry season. So let's roll. And it is still clear. So that's good for the side that is winning. So they can continue to try to beat down, right? So initiative VPs were 20. I already moved them. I moved the VP's last turn marker already, but India did not score 20 VPs that turn. So it is still a contested turn, so it'll be a shortened turn as usual. Let's go ahead and we'll roll for random events. And I have said I always like to use the cyber warfare rules, and I am using them this game, but I always forget to use them because sometimes they just I don't know. I haven't really been using them a lot. It's just a lot of times you forget about it, and then other times it just kind of, all right, I don't feel like using these because it's going to slow stuff down. All right, so India. Blue is 10s. So 38. Radio chatter. Place 1 detected marker on an enemy headquarters, not supreme headquarters. So India has detected an enemy headquarters. Now I guess we need to decide which one we want to detect. Pakistan does have some, I think both sides, all the reinforcements that they could possibly have for the scenario are now on the map someplace. They're either moving into position, but they are in the theater someplace. For example, we've got this, what is it? It looks like is that the 12th? Yeah, the 12th Corps is starting to get into place. So Pakistan's starting to mobilize some stuff, or some forces. So what I believe is going to happen is now we're going to start to get a stabilized front, right? And you can kind of see, let's see, so you can kind of see where the front is forming, and then this kind of like no man's land that nobody really wants. But then, so that's kind of our front, right? So now that we've got all the forces getting into position and kind of in position, that's where our front line is going to be, and it's kind of probably going to remain that way. Let's see. We still want to. This would be great if India could get. How about we? Well, that one's automatically detected because you're adjacent, so I don't have to do that one. That one's considered automatically detected. Let's see here. This headquarters, that's the first corps. I think all the units of the first corps have been destroyed. Now, that doesn't mean that Pakistan cannot reconstitute them, but that headquarters has nobody to support, so they can't really do a whole lot, right? It's not like you can use this headquarters to help, you know, this 30th Corps unit. You can't do that. So that headquarters, yeah, now that would be worth victory points if I could get it. That would be the benefit to doing that. But I would rather have a headquarters detected that is going to, that can provide support to its own units. So how about we'll go ahead and, what do we got going on here? Those are automatically detected. How about we do that one? So we'll detect, who is this? That is the Second Corps. Second Corps headquarters is detected. So let's go ahead and roll and see what Pakistan gets. Pakistan got a 79. Friendly fuel shortage. Place an out of supply marker on a friendly motorized or mechanized unit. This may not be removed in the first supply phase. So this is one of those random events that does not benefit them. So this is hurting Pakistan, so that kind of sucks. That's good for India, though. Out of supply marker. We can put it on any, what does it say? On a friendly motorized or mechanized unit. Well, we don't want to put it on somebody that's like in the middle of combat, right? That wouldn't be very good. Motorized or mechanized. What do we got? Let's see, is that, well, motorized or mechanized? That's armor. Let's see, I don't remember. Motorized. All right, so, yeah, I can put it on that armor unit. That's considered mechanized. So we'll do that. Since you're not really involved in any combat, you're probably not going to be needed anywhere. You can't really see what's going on up here. But this is kind of at a standstill up here, so yeah, that's probably the best worst case, right? Let's see. Electronic detection. I believe each side gets 3, if I'm not mistaken. All right, let's get my markers out here. We get 3 attempts per side. Since nobody has intervened on either side, you're not getting additional attempts. All right, so Pakistan will try to, this again is a hot area, so let's try to get that guy. Let's try to get that guy, because we don't want them to be able to support anything that happens right here. Although this is tough fighting because it's urban and there's swamp and all those rivers and canals. It's just really kind of ugly. And then why don't we, let's try to get that guy right there. Now, India, did we have, I think we did have, yep, there's a headquarters there. Oh, you're automatically detected anyway, so I don't have to do that. Let's see if we can get that guy there. Let's do, all right, let's see what we got. Where's this headquarters? That's the 2nd Corps. Oh, 2nd Corps is already detected right there. All right, so we'll try to do the 12th as well as the 31st. So we'll go there, and we'll go there. What do I need to roll? I think it's pretty low. Clearing, sea control power drop. Electronic detection. So we need to roll a 2 or lower. Yep, 2 or lower. So we'll start with India first. So we'll go from left to right. Nope. Nope. And then the last one will be that guy right there. I don't know if you can see that, but that is not detected either. So, oops, don't want to do that. There, you're there. All right. Pakistan, let's see if Pakistan gets lucky. We have 1, 2, and I don't know if you can see that over there. Yes, barely. So again, left to right. Nope. 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 And last but not least, no. All right, so nothing, no additional headquarters were detected. Super simple. And done. All right, what is next? Initiative turn only would be first Special Operations Forces phase. Nothing's happening. Air Naval phase. So we got to do air superiority. We can look here and see. I don't know. All right, we can see all the Indian forces. So India's still got a pretty healthy air force. Pakistan, not so much. In fact, there's only three units. They're all reduced units. There's only 3 units in the ready box. 2 of them, well, this one here is air superiority only. So he can only fly air superiority missions. I don't know if I want to risk that guy, right? Because that's just giving points to the other side if they get shot down. This one can provide close air support and strikes, and I think, good grief, it's been so long since I've looked at some of this stuff. So it's got a 0 in the last rating. So the 0 on this last Mirage, so that is strike. So he can't even do strike targets, but he can provide close air support. So I don't think Pakistan's going to send anybody up. Now again, this phase would be done. You commit your forces in secret, right? So at oppose, you kind of commit who you want to do, and then you reveal, right? It's not going to happen because it's me, but I do want. I need at least 5 to 1. So there's a notional 1 in here. There's 1, you know, just because you can't divide by 0, right? So there's a notional 1 in there. So I need to send up. I need to put 5 guys in here. We will commit that one. And actually, that one's not that bad. Let's commit that one and commit that one. So basically, India's sending up their second stringers, their B team, right? So they know that they've got air superiority. They pretty much understand that Pakistan's not going to do anything, right? So there we go. So air superiority is 5 to 1. That gives them air supremacy. The AWACS advantage is already maxed out for India, so you can see it right. Can you see it? Barely. So the AWACS advantage is still at a 4. It's going to remain there. Air superiority doesn't really change, or you know who controls the skies is not going to change. So since there's no challenge by Pakistan, there'll be no air-to-air combat. Let's see. So that means we go to the second Special Operations Forces phase. Both sides can commit SOF. It looks like India has 2 available and Pakistan has 1 available. So let's go ahead and Get these boys out. All right. What do we want to do? We can detect. We can target. We can try to do blow up some airfields, maybe. I don't really think the airfield thing, like the Indians, or excuse me, the Pakistanis might want to try to target an air unit or an air base because, in fact, you know what? I didn't do anything as far as removing air units, but I'm not going back because I just don't feel like looking at it right now. So we can try to strike some hardened targets. I don't think we're going to do that. Let's do, so India will... We will see if we can target. I don't know if you can see that. We're going to do a targeting mission here so we can further increase our chances of being able to knock out that headquarters, which is probably not going to happen because it's full strength, but you never know. We have one more mission that we can do something with. Something interesting. We might want to try. You can't see that, I don't think. We might want to try to hit that bridge, right? So that prevent this 12th Corps from... It won't prevent them, but it'll definitely make it a lot harder because crossing canal is an extra movement point. Like if we're going to try to move into the marsh area, that will really... So the only way that this 12th Corps, if that bridge gets knocked out, the only way that the 12th Corps could do anything would be to move into that direction because this is flat terrain. So we could do that. Maybe do some interdiction, maybe? See if we can cut off supply. We got this guy here. I could probably try to detect that supply depot, but I don't know if it would really matter. Because there's enough supply depots around, we could still... We can always... You know, let's see what we can do. We'll see if we can take out this bridge. So we're going to do that there. And we'll put a special forces mission there to see if we can destroy that bridge. I've modified the rules a little bit for bridge destruction because I think they are a little... I've seen firsthand what air power can do to bridges in real life. And I don't think that the table really reflects that. So, now I haven't seen it as it's happening, right? I've seen the after effects. I think it would have been cool to be able to watch a plane or a group of planes destroy a bridge, but no, we made it there after the fact. So, what does... I think maybe something in this area. I mean, the same token, Pakistan could probably try destroying that bridge right there. But I think you get minus victory point. You give the opposing player victory points if you destroy your bridges in your own country. So I don't think I'm going to do that. Let's... probably try to take that helicopter out. Let's see if we can do that. That's risky. But we will try and do that. All right. Let's see what we got going on here. Special Forces Operations CRT, Combat Resolution Table. We'll start here. See if we can take out that helicopter. That helicopter, I believe, was previously destroyed, and India used points to replace it, or reconstitute it, or whatever it's called. That looks like it is urban. Urban, Hilo. So we need to roll a 6 or lower. Can we see that? Not really. I think you can see it down there in the bottom corner, hopefully. 6 or lower. Let's see here. Storm versus bridge. Hex contains a city. No. Occupied by less than 1 brigade. It is occupied. So that's a +1 to the die roll. Occupied by at least 1 brigade. Okay, so it's occupied by at least a brigade. I believe at headquarters. Occupied means by a ground unit with an attack strength greater than 0. Oh, so no, it's by less than a brigade. So it's only a +1. +1 to the die roll. That's a 10. That's a failure. Let's see if he survives. Got to roll less than a 7. Okay, barely. So unsuccessful, but they do live to fight another day, or in another 3 days, because the turn is 3 days long. So their special forces are pretty much done. Let's go up to here. All right, so we'll go left to right. So we're going to try to target that headquarters to further our chances of being able to do something. A targeting mission is a straight up 4 or lower. Yep, 4 or lower. He is successfully targeted. We put a -1 marker on that guy. Let's roll real quick. He is safe. Because remember, zeros are actually zeros in this game. They are not 10s. And last but not least, we're going to try to blow up that bridge. That is in Marsh. I need to roll a 3. +2 if occupied by at least brigade. At least a brigade. Well, both sides of that bridge are occupied by at least a brigade. So I'd say that's a +2 DRM. So I need to roll a 0 or a 1. I'm going to try it, right? Normally I'd be like, nah, I'm not going to try this. But, you know, hey, what the heck, right? Fortune favors the bold. We almost did it. So that's a 5. Yeah. Had there been a 0 modifier, I would have succeeded doing that. So, no dice. 9. Those guys are destroyed. So that's what happens when you try to blow up a bridge that's surrounded. It's completely surrounded by enemies and in enemy territory. So there you have it. That's what happens when you try to do bold things. You either succeed boldly or you fail boldly. And those guys failed boldly. That was first strike phase, first supply phase. Remember that this random event does not get removed during the first supply phase. Now, this guy, is he in supply? I believe he is, because he can trace supply 8, so that guy will be in supply. I think the only, I don't know what this guy is up here. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, he might be in supply. I'm pretty sure this guy's in supply now, so we can take that off. I don't know if you can see where I'm... Nope, you can't see it. It's off. It's over just north of the Kashmir Valley. We had an Indian unit that was out of supply. They are now in supply. This right here, this guy has been out of supply most of the game. However, it's a terrible place for him to be. Headquarters can move it. I think he's going to remain out of supply, but I need that multi-hex advantage trying to attack that hex. That's the only reason he's occupying that. What I should do, I don't know if I have a crappier unit that I could, because that's 6 attack factors, but I don't know if there's anything that I can do about that. Marsh. Motorized movement to move into a marsh with no road, and it costs 6 movement points. Yeah, there's no way, because headquarters extends supply 4 movement points. So I think that's either a third or a half, because there's a road there. So that would be, let's say it's a half. So that is half 1, And then that would be 7 movement points to get into there. Headquarters can only extend supply, I believe, 4 additional movement points, if I'm not mistaken. So we can't do that. Let me look real quick. Maybe an urban area. Urban is 6 supply points. What did I say? It's 6 just to move into the marsh. So yeah, it doesn't even matter. There's nothing that we can do to get supply to this brigade. So that is what, 15th Brigade of the 11th Corps. So yeah, you're going to remain out of supply. I believe that is the only unit out of supply in the game. We have no initiative, movement, combat. Second strike. Oh wait, did we... First strike flight. Okay. Oh, well, you know what? We forgot to do first strike. So let's do first strike. All right. We'll just hand wave the supply part of it and say that we're still good. I don't think it's going to matter. Second strike phase. Okay. So there's no second strike phase. So yes. So we'll do the first strike phase. I almost got ahead of myself. Look at that. So let me see here. Both players may conduct strikes, alternating non-allied first. Nuclear weapons markers. Nah, we're not going to do that. All cruise missile and missile strikes. Does anybody have missiles left? India has 3. I believe Pakistan. Pakistan is out of missiles. So India has 3 ballistic missiles. Do we want to do ballistic missiles? Can I use ballistic missiles on that detected headquarters? Yes, I can. So let's do that. Where are my... So there we go. We're going to launch a couple of ballistic missiles on that headquarters. And that's where that targeting marker comes in handy. That is flat. Okay, so flat. Missile. I need a 6 or lower. Normally it's a 5 or lower. All right, I had to take a short break. My dog came in, and you know, when your dog comes in or your pet comes in, you gotta give them a little bit of love, right? So what did I say? Scud or normal missile, flat terrain. I need a 5 or lower, but because I have that targeting marker, I can get a 6 or lower. So let's just roll both of those. Let's see if we have any other DRMs. Pile up, blah, 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 blah. Non-US cruise missile strike, +1. So that negates the targeting. So there's 0 DRMs. Okay. I don't think there's anything else that, yeah, so that's just, all right, let's roll. 5 or lower. A 2 and a 9. The 2 is good. All right, that is a 2, so I believe that is a strike 2 marker. Strike 2. Bam. Strike 2, you're out. Let's just stack another thing on there. So the strike 2 marker, strike 1 gives it a -1 attack, -1 defense, -1 movement allowance, -1 efficiency rating, and it loses a combat capability for a strike 1. Then you also, additively, a strike 2, oh, never mind. It's based on... So it's a -2 attack, -2 defense, -2 movement allowance, -2 efficiency rating. Loses 1 combat capability and can only move 1 hex during movement segments. So you got zapped. So we have to... Alright, what we're trying to do, we really want step losses, but it's, you got to really pound units pretty hard with strikes to so the Indians have 1 missile left. All right, so that's missiles. Allocate airstrikes, helicopter strikes, and escorts. Now we can continue to probably pile it on there with some pretty heavy airstrikes. But do we also want to do airstrikes here? I think we probably do. Because I really want that. As the Indians, I think they want this more than that. This is just destruction of units, right? But to take over urban areas is worth more victory points, right? Of course, destruction of units is also worth victory points. However, if we can get these guys, if we can get them to vacate, so I think we'll do that. We have a bunch of air power. I think we're going to dedicate a lot of air power. We want to do strikes. So that's the last number. The last number in the stream of numbers and all these. So this guy's a good strike aircraft. These are decent. These are pretty decent too. So I think we're going to commit a bunch of these, this, and that to this. I think we need to focus here quite a bit because we have 3 units that can attack that. That can attack that hex. This hex can only be attacked by this unit or these units. So we can get a combined attack, a combined offensive from these 3 into there. So I think let's focus most of our air power here. And we also still want to hit that headquarters because it still can support 1 combat. So if we can get a strike result on that headquarters, we can take it out of the fight. So we're going to commit a bunch of planes to both of these, and a bunch of planes. I think you can commit 2 per unit. So I can commit 2 units, 2 air units to attack him, 2 air units to attack him, and 2 air units to attack him. So we're gonna throw a lot of air power in there. So, where are we at here? So right here, let's go ahead and throw that boy in there. And we will throw that boy in there. And then just to make things a little bit easier, this might end up being a long video. I don't normally go into this much detail with stuff, but for whatever reason, I guess it's because it's been a long time. So that will be that. That will be that. None of these air units have standoff strike. So we will do this. And all those are the same. And we will do that. How's that look? I believe I can also... There's a helicopter strike. Helicopter strikes are pretty good, I think. Nope, well, gotta look at the right table. Yeah, helos are pretty dang good too. Do I want to do any strikes anywhere else? I don't think so, because I think the game's getting close. Right? Like, I think if I were to end the game, I'd just say, I'm going to end it right now. India would have a... Well, let's see. No, gotta look at the right book. This is Unification. If I were to end the game right now, India is leading by 35. So it's basically, it is 45 to 10. So basically 35 victory points. It would be considered a decisive victory right now. So India, if I were to quit right now, India has a decisive victory. So let's focus a little bit more here and a little bit less on the outskirts, right? Because I don't think that's necessarily the deciding factor. I think what I will do... Oh, actually, I have 2 helicopters. I didn't realize I had this. I've got that Apache down there. And I've got this Rudra. So this Apache is here. He has a range of 16, which is easily right there. So let's go ahead and we'll do We will also do, that's the beef. Okay, they both have efficiency ratings of 5. Let's focus on this 710. So we'll put a Hilo 2. All right, so we will go ahead and use that guy once. We will also use this Rudra, which is here. He has a range of 10, which is easily right there. What do I want to do? Let's go ahead and do that. Boom. All right, so there we go. Let me see here. Do the... Well, that was the non-allies. Excuse me. The Indians are the allies in this scenario. Pakistan has no helicopters. They have one aircraft that's possibly capable of doing an airstrike. I don't think they're going to use that. So that's pretty much it. That kind of resolves it. Now we have to see if any of these things are detected. So I will be back. I'm not going to bore you with the detection stuff. And I know this video is already going to be long. So I'll be back and let you know who was detected out of these things. I never know if you can see it. The viewer on this screen is so tiny. All right, so this mission was detected. Nobody was early detected. Early detection doesn't matter because Pakistan has no air superiority fighters to scramble to do anything. So detected between the SAM and the AAA. They do undergo AAA because none of these are standoff. All right, this guy was aborted. The other one made it through. So we've got one attack here. That helicopter was... This Hilo was detected. Nothing else was detected. So this mission and then that Hilo. The Hilo was detected between SAM and AAA. We got a +1 modifier. You know, the +1 to the die roll can kind of represent the pilot trying to dodge attacks, concentrating more on saving his life than hitting the target, right? So now we can roll and see what happens on the strike table. So we have a strike of 3 on that headquarters. That is in urban. Strike of 3. Let's see here. Is there anything else in that hex other than if there's an installation? Nope, just that thing. It's not standoff air. All right, so I need to roll a 3 or lower. 6, not good enough. So nothing happens. This guy goes back home. He goes to the flown box at least, so that's done. That sucks. I really wanted to hit that frickin' headquarters, but doesn't always work out the way you want. So we'll do the planes first, and then we'll do the helicopter. So we have... Oh, there was a pilot skill on that. What did I just roll? I think I rolled too high anyway. Oh, there was no pilot skill either. So we have -1s for both of these guys because they're pilot skill. So the red die will be... Here, let's do this. Red will be right. I guess it doesn't really matter. Yeah, it kind of does matter. Or no, does it? It doesn't. I don't know. That is urban. It's a strike 2 value. I think I just get a -1 to that. To each one of those. So we got a -1 and a 3. The -1 will be very good. So that's a strike 1. The 3 is not good enough to do anything. So this actually, yeah. So this guy gets a strike 1 marker, which is good. His efficiency rating goes down. All right, so these guys go to the flown box. Let's move that Hilo here. We can move that out of the way. He just gets a +1 to the die roll. Let's resolve the Hilo. So that is a Hilo 2 in urban. So it's normally a 4 or lower, but now it becomes a I need to roll a 3 or lower. So that is a 4. So that is an additional strike 1. So that becomes a strike 2. Ah. You're going to be so... Tweezers make it a little bit easier, but sometimes not much. So that helo is done. You fly back home. Now we'll go here. So we'll do the 2 planes first. They both have 0 modifiers for their pilot skill, so it doesn't matter. That is... Yeah, I don't know. Let's just double check there's nothing else in there. Nothing else in there. All right. Ooh, that's good. So urban, 2. So what do we have? We have a 0, which is a 1, and a 2, which is nothing. So we get a strike 1 on this guy. May be able to get a strike 2 possibly out of it with that helo. So these guys go back to the flown box. Helo 1, 0. Yes, that's actually really good. Urban helo 1, 0, 1. That is a, I know I just said a lot of 1s and 0s, right? We're talking binary. So that is a strike 2. So at least that was successful. These strike missions were fairly successful. The headquarters one I really wanted. I wanted that headquarters one to be successful, but unfortunately it was not. Did I want... Maybe. I didn't even think about this. I may have wanted... He's already a strike 2. If I cause one more strike on him, he will then take a step loss. I don't think I can do enough damage with the aircraft that I have to knock that headquarters out. I think I'll leave it at that. I think I'll just leave it at that. So that is the first strike phase done. Now we go to no initiative move in combat. Does not happen. There's no second strike phase. Second supply phase. Let's see. Second supply phase is an initiative turn only, so there is none. And now we will go to basic movement in combat. So India gets to move. So I'll be back with whatever movement. I don't think there's going to be a lot of movement, but yes, we'll take care of that first. All right, movement is complete. So setting up for a big offensive here. Obviously, it's probably going to stall a little bit with this guy because he's kind of big, but he's on the other side of a canal, so I think we can be patient. So 11th Corps guys moved up into here. I believe so. There's going to be some overstacking issues. Ooh, that might be, well, not there. So I think we'll be okay here. Although I kind of, yeah, I'll probably have to use him. No, their efficiency rating is reduced by 1 because of being overstacked. Well, that sucks. I didn't think about that a whole lot. However, I think we'll be fine. So anyway, setting up for the big fight here. I see this supply depot here. You know, that might give Pakistan something to think about. It's like, oh, he's coming for my supply depot. Maybe. They don't know that yet. I don't know that yet. This stuff was too close to be drawing a lot of stuff on the map, but basically I moved this big boy here into here. Move this guy up here. He'll end up being out of supply, but it's just getting some surrounding stuff. But I wanted him in here to get that. Now these guys, so this is overstacked, right? So your efficiency ratings drop by 1. So they'll have an efficiency rating of 5. I could probably use him to be the lead. However, these guys, because of their strikes, their efficiency ratings are 3. So we will definitely have some column shift advantages. I'll probably use this guy as the lead attack. Got plenty of artillery to support. Move some artillery up into there. So good stuff going on there. And then headquarters moved up. Artillery moved up. These 12th Corps guys are getting into position, trying to pursue this guy. All right, so we will conduct an attack right here. These looks like 2nd Corps guys moving up here to threaten this headquarters here. I don't know how successful we'll be just because of this canal, but start forcing guys to move. I mean, we'll end up probably occupying that that city and having to conduct clearing operations. That ought to be kind of difficult, kind of fun. Clearing operations are an interesting little layer of of nuance to this game. So there you have it. I'll go ahead and pre-plan all the attacks, and then we'll roll live, kind of live. All right, I have decided or figured out what I'm doing and all the places I'm going to attack. So here we have to the, I believe this is to the south. Going to attack right there. It looks like it is going to be, after everything is all worked out, I think it's a 3-to-1, 38 to 12, so 3-to-1. I committed some air units. This guy was basically nullified by SAMs. So we're going to have a -2 die roll modifier and a +1 column shift. So it's on the 3-to-1 column because that's flat. There's nothing underlying. It's just a plain flat. There's no cities or towns or anything like that. So I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, you can barely see that. All right. So it's on the 3-to-1 column in flat. With the +1 column shift, it ends up being a 4-to-1. The canted unit is the lead unit. So it ends up being a 4-to-1 in flat with a -2 DRM. So that's good for the Indians. So that ends up being a 3. So a 3 on the 4-to-1 column is the attacker takes a loss, the defender takes 2 losses and retreats. And it is in red text. So that means if the defender cannot take that, cannot satisfy those requirements, then the attacker takes no losses. All right, I believe the defender can take, or the defender can satisfy those 2 criteria. They can lose 2 steps and retreat. So this guy is going to lose a step, and the guy underneath, I believe, is already, yeah, he's already reduced. So that is a division. All right, so this guy will retreat. So he will go 1 and 2. So that means that hex is vacated. The lead unit suffers the loss on this one. So you will go there. And now, I think we'll just do that. We will occupy that hex. Air units go home. Actually, those guys, they undergo AAA fire. Red right, so 2, I believe, might be something. They have a AAA of 1. AAA of 1 is a +1. All right, so nothing happens basically. Because AAA fire, if they're not early detected, then AAA fire happens when they're flying home. So I think I got that right. But anyway, so that air unit basically got away. So let me see. We lost a division, or the Pakistanis lost a division. A division is +3 victory points. That's 4 victory points there. There was nothing there to get. I gave myself +1 victory point for capturing that town during the movement phase. Towns don't have to be cleared. I guess they're considered small enough to where the local populace can be controlled a little bit easier. All right, so here's the big one. So it looks like 37 to 33 infantry. Light infantry's defense is doubled. I didn't think about that at the time. So 8. That's 8 doubled to 16. 7 doubled to 14. So 30. Oh, that's 32. Doesn't matter. That one number doesn't make a difference. We did throw headquarters support in there from there. That is considered urban terrain. I did throw in some aircraft assists. I believe one of them was basically with the, wasn't aborted, but he was his DRM was nullified. So I believe it's going to be 1-to-1 +4 column shifts because of the efficiency ratings. So it's basically, I think it's 5 to 3, so that's +2. I threw in 2 artillery brigades. So that's an additional column shift per artillery. So 4 column shifts to the right, which is good. On the 1-to-1 scale, urban with a -3 DRM. Clear as mud, right? All right, let's see. Where can we put that? We can do that right there. All right. What are we looking at? So this is the 1-to-1 column in urban, which is the worst column. So that, and then we get 4 column shifts. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That basically makes us 4-to-1. 4-to-1 with a -3 DRM. That's a 6. That's about as bad as you can get. So the attackers take 1 loss. The defenders take no losses. This was the lead unit. That did not work out the way I wanted to at all. Yeah, that's the worst possible roll I could have gotten. Thank goodness I committed that error to get the die roll down. And these planes fly home. Yeah, that really sucks. I was really hoping to get that. But it looks like that's not happening. And these strike 2s will be... I committed a lot of resources to that attack this turn overall. Here we're looking at 4-to-1 with a -1 DRM, because it is basically this stack here attacking that one lonely guy right there, I believe. Let's see if there's anything there. Nothing there. Oh man, we're gonna roll crappy. So that is 4-to-1 on flat with a -1. So that's a 7. 7 flat, 4-to-1. So that looks like 1 loss and 1 loss for the attacker, 2 for the defender. The defender can satisfy that. That's 1 step loss, 2 step losses. So he's eliminated. That is a brigade. A brigade is 2 points. So that moves us to 6. And then the attacker, which will be this independent airborne or air mobile brigade, you will take the step loss because you are the lead unit. And now we'll pop across that river right there. That Lahore fight, that's almost demoralizing right there to see that, like where you have an urban attack with that favors you that well, and you roll the worst possible thing you could roll. So here to here, he is in a city. So what is it? I think it's 3-to-1. Ends up being, we're attacking across, so that's 3 attack factors. 2.5 rounded up is 3, so it's 6-to-2, which makes 3-to-1. The efficiency rating, I think it's -2. What is it? What is it for town or city? Let's look. Remember where I came from there. City defense is 2 column shifts to the left, which turns into 1 column shift because of the efficiency rating. So 1 column shift. I committed 2 planes. These weren't intercepted or detected or anything like that. So that is -3 DRM. 3-to-1 column shift flat. 3-to-1 with a -1 column shift makes it 2-to-1. And we have, who's my lead unit? Let me just double check here. Yeah, it's got to be this guy. So he's the lead unit. So it is a 2-to-1 with a -3 DRM because of the aircraft support. 3. So defender loses 2 shifts, or 2 things. So we definitely wanted that to happen. So that is a headquarters eliminated. So the entire 30th Corps has been eliminated. A U.S., or excuse me, not U.S. headquarters. An enemy division or headquarters is +3 victory points. So that makes it a total. Looks like the Indians have scored a total of 9 victory points this turn. Which this... Ugh, that's annoying, man. You know, and it always works out. I've noticed it really works out. Like when you, it always seems to go poorly in your favor when you do some spectacular thing, right? Like, ooh, I'm going to try to, you know, tempt fate and try to do something spectacular, like some kind of amphibious assault that nobody expects, or just a major, that was a major offensive right there with the amount of stuff that we committed. And it's like, oh, this is going to be awesome, man. I mean, if it succeeds, it'll be just spectacular, and it fails. I mean, that seems to happen more often than not. I know you notice, but I mean, that's just part of playing the game. I guess not every attack can be. You just can't walk through Pakistan, right? Like, it doesn't work like that. So that was combat, and now it looks like I'm going to have to clean this up, and Pakistan will get to do reaction move and reaction combat. Probably not going to be a whole lot going on there, because Pakistan is purely in defensive mode, trying to minimize losses as much as they can, right? So I will be back with what Pakistan decides to do. All right, I think it was pretty straightforward. Most of the Pakistani units are going to kind of just remain in place. I did move the 12th Corps. They're starting to head down here because these have a high defense. We can probably sub these guys and move these here at least, and then those guys will move in there. That's the plan, right? These guys are going to stay right where they're at because they'll recover at least that strike 1. And those are large units, right? That's a 9. I think the other one was a 10. So we saw what happened last time, right? Like they managed to hold, and nobody took a step loss. These strike markers, they'll go down to a strike 1. Of course, there's always the risk that a strike will reduce them. These guys are going to stay because it's easy. I mean, half attack across the canal. He's a 10. There's really nobody in here. It's a headquarters underneath there to kind of. I don't really want to move him into there. I want to use replacements to get him back up. These guys are going to just stay in that city. That's a good defensible position. Oh, I didn't move these guys. So we will move him here. And we can he could actually get into that spot. Yeah, he's going to do that. So, boom, there we go. So, I don't think this is going to happen, but we're not going to do any kind of attacking at all whatsoever with Pakistan, because I don't want to lose any more than I'm already losing, right? So it's already, even if I quit right now, it would be a decisive victory. So, I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do any of the reorganization or anything yet, because we will roll for auto victory again. Number of times rolled. This will be the second. So on a 3 or lower. So let's see. We might have a victory anyway. 3 or lower. No. So we can continue to fight. Pakistan did not score any victory points. There's really no targets of opportunity that would be easy for Pakistan to, like, hey, we can do an alpha strike and take out this one unit. So it would be 50. Let me see. What do we get? We got 8, 9. It's 54. 54 to 10. So that's 44 points. Let's see where we're at. Oh, gotta get the right book. Yeah, it's a decisive victory still. I wasn't able to get the overwhelming victory, but you know what? The only thing that we have going on is we've got that clearing operation from that fight that India won right there. So it's a decisive victory, right? In turn 6 to go to turn 7, I don't see Pakistan's position getting any better. India is not hurting too bad. India has 2 replacements. Pakistan has a ton of replacements. There's not a whole lot of units that are eligible. I think this is probably, I would say it's a decisive Indian victory. I don't see Pakistan's position improving so much that we could. They're not going to win. That's for sure. Would they be able to fight to which the lesser victory level is substantive? They might be able to. In the end, India is going to win this fight. So I think that might be where I call it right there. It looks like a decisive Indian victory without any kind of intervention from any outside forces, right? No NATO forces, no American forces intervene, no Chinese forces. I don't think Russia figures into this one, at least in the game-specific rules as they were written back in 2015 is when this game came out. They didn't figure in 2015. Mitch Land and Ralph Shelton didn't figure that Russia would be any kind of force, and as of right now, they probably wouldn't assist in this theater either. So it looks like it will be a decisive Indian victory. I hope you enjoyed watching this, and thanks for watching, and everybody have a great rest of your week.